When my wrist started bleeding from the rope, I was reborn. The early fall wind swept across the field. Rubber from the track mixed with noise from the courts. It all rushed into my nose at once. My hands were tied behind my back to the pull-up bar. My jacket was thrown on the ground. Only a thin, faded shirt clung to my skin. The rope was tied on purpose, carefully. It wouldn't knock me out. But no matter how hard I fought, I couldn't get free. A crowd circled the bar. Some laughed. Some filmed on their phones. Others walked by slowly, glancing back again and again. Standing right in front of me was Ryan Cole, my neighbor, my desk partner, my childhood sweetheart since elementary school. He walked around the bar, hands in his pockets, smiling, like he was showing off a trophy. Look at her, our top student. So what if you're smart? So what if you're first in the class? You're still hanging here like a piece of garbage. In my last life, I closed my eyes. I didn't want to see what was behind his. I thought he was calling for help. So when the teacher showed up, I covered for him. I told them it was just a prank that went too far. When his father made him kneel and apologize, I stepped in front of him again. I said I started it. Later, I found the chalk circle drawn under my feet. It was our old childhood code, a distress signal. My heart softened. I went to our old spot to find him alone. He told me his father had lost his job. He said his dad wanted to send him south to work in an illegal sweatshop. I didn't call the police. I didn't tell a teacher. I was foolish enough to think I could pull him out myself. The next day, I went with him to meet a so-called relative. It wasn't a relative at all. It was a ring that lured minors into forced labor. I realized something was wrong. I turned to call the police. Ryan's father grabbed my phone. He shoved me down the stairs of an abandoned warehouse. The back of my head hit the concrete. I heard Ryan scream my name in horror. But in the end, he didn't dare step forward. My father said I fell on my own. Those men said I was running. That night, the school covered it up. They called it an accidental death. My mother held my photo and cried at the gate until she collapsed. Ryan lost his mind after that. I heard he goes to the field every day, ties himself to that same bar, says sorry over and over. But sorry doesn't mean anything. I was already dead. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the day he tied me up. Put me on display for everyone to see. Not this time. This life, I won't sacrifice myself for anyone's problems. Ryan, enough. A voice called from the edge of the crowd. Class president, Emma Carter's over here. Megan Brooks pushed through the crowd. She saw the blood on my wrist. Her face went pale. Are you insane? Let her go right now. Yes, in this life, my name is Emma Carter. Not the Emma from my old memories. The one everyone thought was weak and easy to push around. This Emma crawled back from death. And she knows exactly how to move, step by step. Ryan turned to Megan, his voice suddenly soft. Class president, this isn't about you. This is between me and Emma. Megan pulled out her phone. I'm getting a teacher. Ryan laughed quietly. Go ahead and scream. And while you're at it, tell Emma's mom why her daughter's tied up here. In my last life, that one sentence shut my mouth instantly. He knew about my father's disappearance years ago. He knew my mom was terrified of people talking about our family. He used what I cared about most to control me. Back then, I took it. This time, I lifted my head. Megan, get a teacher. My voice wasn't loud, but it cut straight through the laughter. Call the police too. The crowd went silent for a second. Ryan's smile froze on his face. I looked straight at him. Finish what you were about to say, Ryan. Say it loud enough for everyone. And after my family, let's talk about yours. Your father hitting you, forcing you to drop out, planning to ship you south to a labor camp. The color drained from Ryan's face. He looked at me like he'd never seen me before. I didn't run. Calling for help, fine. Using me as your prop? Never. Expecting me to take the blame for you? Absolutely not. The crowd went completely quiet. Megan reacted first and called the teacher. Ryan reached out to untie the rope on instinct. "Don't touch it," I said coldly. "Wait for the teacher and security. If you touch it, that's tampering with evidence." He froze, hand hanging in the air, then slowly lowered it. Kids who'd been filming quietly tucked their phones behind their backs. I'm calling this out right now. Whoever filmed this, don't delete it. It won't matter anyway. The field has security cameras. Anyone willing to speak up, I'll have the teacher take your name. And whoever was laughing the loudest, don't rush off either. Someone muttered from the crowd, "It's just a prank. Is it really that big of a deal?" I looked over. Try it and find out. They shut up immediately. I used to think we shouldn't tear each other apart since we were classmates. But in my last life, it was these same bystanders who spread that video everywhere. They called me pitiful. They turned my photo, tied to that bar, into a meme. After I died, people still said I was too fragile, that Ryan was just joking around. This life, I don't need their sympathy. I want their testimony. I want them to understand that watching and doing nothing has a price too. When Mr. Sullivan, the assistant principal, arrived, he saw the blood on my wrist and went pale. "Ryan, what is this?" Ryan opened his mouth like he had in my last life, ready to say, "I'll admit I started it." But I got there first. "Sir," he tied me to this bar, humiliated me in public, and restrained me against my will. There are dozens of videos. I want the school to secure the security footage now. Call my parents, take me to the hospital for an exam, and call the police. Mr. Sullivan looked stunned. In my last life, I was too gentle. Even bleeding, tied to that bar, all I'd say was, "It's fine." So everyone got used to deciding things for me. Not this time. Ryan turned to me, his voice cracked. "Emma, does it have to be like this?" "Yes." I raised my wrist. It was red from the rope. "You seemed pretty confident tying me up. Now it's my turn to be confident." Mr. Sullivan went quiet for a second. Then he ordered security to photograph everything. He called the nurse to treat my wound. Ryan stood off to the side, his lips pale, his eyes shattered. I knew what he wanted to say, that it wasn't intentional, that he just needed to be seen, that he had no other options. But having no options doesn't give you the right to hurt someone else. The principal's office felt heavy, like it was pressing down on us. Mr. Sullivan sat behind the desk. The principal had rushed in too. Ryan stood in the middle of the room, back stiff. "Explain yourself," Mr. Sullivan said coldly. Ryan looked at the floor. "There's nothing to explain. I did it, I admit it." Same words as my last life. Back then, everyone brushed it off as kids being kids. I didn't give him a second chance this time. I lifted the gauze on my wrist so the principal could see the bruising. "Principal Davis, I want the security footage from the field reviewed." And Ryan drew a distress signal in chalk under my feet. Ryan's head snapped up. I didn't look at him. That was our code from when we were kids. A circle inside a circle, with a dot in the center. It means real danger. The principal's face changed. "I'm not denying he might be going through something," I continued. "But he chose to hurt me to ask for help. His situation being hard doesn't erase what he did to me. So handle these as two separate things. First, school bullying. Handle it by the book. Second, if he's facing abuse at home and being forced to drop out, the school needs to step in." The office went so quiet you could hear the clock ticking. The principal tried to soften it. "Emma, please calm down. We'll investigate this properly." I pulled up the video Megan had just sent me and set it on the table. Ryan, tying me to the bar with his own hands, the crowd laughing around us. "Principal Davis, I'm not upset. I'm completely calm right now. And because I'm calm, I'm going to insist on doing this properly. medical exam, security footage, witness statements. My parents present, a police report. None of that gets skipped. If the school treats this as a minor incident, I'll take it to the school district. Mr. Sullivan's hand froze halfway to his glasses. The principal's face stiffened. In my last life, their specialty was smoothing things over. They'd say not to blow classmate conflicts out of proportion. That senior year was too important to disrupt. That Ryan's family situation was special, so everyone should be understanding. They were understanding toward everyone except me. The one tied to a bar, filmed, and laughed at. This life, I'm not letting them bury it quietly. Ryan looked at me, his eyes turning red. Emma, don't do this. I cut him off. In my last life, one call of my name cost me my life. I didn't say that part out loud. I just kept repeating it to myself. When my mom rushed into the office, her eyes were already red. She grabbed my wrist, saw the bloodstains, and her voice shook. Emma, does it hurt? It hurts. I didn't lie this time like I did in my last life. Mom, I want to press charges. She paused, then gripped my hand tighter. Okay, Mom's staying with you. Ryan's father showed up too, still in a wrinkled work uniform, smelling like motor oil and cigarettes. He didn't even look at me. Just stared coldly at Ryan. In trouble again? Ryan's whole body flinched. His father stepped forward. Apologize. Ryan stood frozen. I said apologize. His voice rose. The windows practically shook. In my last life, he forced Ryan to kneel. I stood in front of him and took the blame myself. This life, I pulled out my phone and started recording. Go ahead, Mr. Cole. Force a minor to kneel in front of the principal, my mom, and a security camera. His face went dark. I didn't give him time to recover. And while we're at it, did you set something up with a factory out of state last week? Were you planning to pull Ryan out of school? Did someone text you, the plan changed, moving it up to tomorrow? His father's expression cracked. Ryan spun to look at him. Dad? His father roared. What are you talking about? I set my phone down on the table. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. Check his phone and find out. Sir, I think you should call the police. Right now. This isn't a family matter anymore. This could be forcing a minor out of school for illegal labor. The principal's face went completely dark. He didn't say we'll handle it internally this time. In front of everyone, he dialed the police. Ryan stayed silent until the police arrived. He stood like a statue in the corner, knuckles white. His father tried to step forward and yell at him a few times. Mr. Sullivan stopped him every time. I sat while the nurse cleaned my wrist. The antiseptic stung, and I gasped. Ryan flinched forward on instinct. I looked up. He stopped again. Emma. His voice was quiet. How did you know all that? Because I know you better than you think. And I don't want to be used by you any more than you think I do. His face went pale. I never meant to use you. You did, I said, calm. You didn't dare ask a teacher for help, didn't dare tell the principal the truth, didn't dare call the police. So you tied me to a bar instead, so everyone would see something was wrong. You counted on me understanding, covering for you, cleaning up your mess like I always did. Ryan, that's not friendship. That's using someone. His eyes went red and swollen. He couldn't say a word back. The police checked his father's phone. Sure enough, chat logs with that so-called relative. The message was blunt. When the kid gets here, take his ID and put him to work for 3 months. If he doesn't cooperate, lock him up a few days without food. That'll fix his attitude. Don't worry, I'll wire you $20,000 up front, then his monthly pay goes straight to your card. His father turned pale with rage, still insisting he was just trying to toughen the kid up. When the police took his phone, he finally panicked. Ryan stood off to the side, looking completely hollowed out. So you really were going to sell me? His father raised a hand to hit him. My mom stepped in front of me on reflex. Mr. Sullivan and the officers moved at the same time. The slap never landed, but Ryan flinched like it had. His face went white with fear. When they asked about the factory, his father played dumb. It's just a normal job through a relative. The kid doesn't know any better. What's wrong with a little hardship? I asked him, in front of the officers, why does a normal job need someone's ID handed over in advance? Why does a normal job threaten to lock someone up for not cooperating? Why does a normal job pay you $20,000 instead of talking to Ryan directly? His lips moved. Nothing came out. Ryan stood there, his eyes slowly going blank. Some truths hurt worse than any physical blow, because they make you realize that in the eyes of the person who's supposed to love you, you're not a son. You're something to be cashed in. But that's not a reason to hurt me. I repeated that to myself again. Compassion is allowed, but so are boundaries. I have my own wounds too. I won't put his pain above my own safety again. That evening, the school issued discipline. Ryan got a formal reprimand for public restraint and humiliation of a classmate, a 1-week suspension, mandatory counseling. Whether he'd have to issue a public apology would depend on the investigation. His father was taken in for questioning. The relative was already under investigation too. I didn't wait around for the school's follow-up. I had Megan send me the footage. I got written statements from classmates. My mom took me to the hospital for a full exam, photos, and an official report. She didn't say a word the whole ride. When we got home, she hugged me. Emma, was I too soft before? No. It was me who was too scared before. Scared of causing trouble, hurting someone, making things messy. And in the end, all the pain landed on me anyway. Not this time. I opened a drawer and pulled out an old tin box. Marbles. Old photos, a dried 4-leaf clover, a worn-out codebook from when we were kids. I flipped to the page marked Help, a circle inside a circle, a dot in the center, exactly like the chalk drawing on the field. I photographed it and sent it to Mr. Sullivan and the police. Then a text came in from Ryan. 3 words, same spot. In my last life, I saw that message and ran out the door without thinking. This life, I took a screenshot first. I sent it to my mom, the school, and the officer on the case. That evening, the school called an emergency meeting. My mom, usually gentle, slammed the hospital report on the table. My daughter is not a prop. She is not something to be sacrificed for someone else's problems. I get that Ryan's situation is hard, but my daughter's injury is real too. If the school doesn't give me a clear answer today, I'm calling a lawyer. No one tried to talk her down this time. Sitting beside her, I realized for the first time I wasn't fighting this alone. At 8 p.m., Ryan finally texted back. We can meet, but not just me. I went to the field, that same spot by the pull-up bar. Ryan sat under it with a can of beer. He froze when he saw Megan and 2 plainclothes officers behind me. You brought people? Yes. I stopped 3 steps away. If you actually want help, say it in front of people who can help you. If you just want to drag me down with you, I'm leaving right now. Ryan looked down and smiled bitterly. You've changed. Being killed once will do that to a person. I didn't say those words out loud, though. I just said, you're the one who made me see clearly. Ryan went quiet for a long time. Then he talked. His father had lost his job 3 months ago. His mom's savings had run out long before that. His father had started drinking every night, and when he drank, he hit him, called him a waste of money and worthless. Last week, his dad told him he was dropping out and going to work out of state. He said he didn't want to go. He said he was scared. I'd heard all of this in my last life, too. My chest ached, and tears came anyway. But I didn't step forward to hug him. I just asked, so you tied me to a bar? Ryan looked up, tears rolling down his face. I didn't know what else to do. Call the police, I said. Tell a teacher. Tell the principal. Go to Child Protective Services. Even just texting "help me" would have been better than tying me up. Ryan, you weren't out of options. You just picked the one that hurt me the most. He had nothing left to say. The plainclothes officer stepped up and asked for his phone. Right then, it lit up. A message from an unknown number. Plans moved up to tomorrow. Be ready. Exactly like my last life. The difference this time, everyone saw it. The officers didn't take him in right away. They had him reply as instructed. His hands shook so badly he could barely hold the phone. I watched him. You still think tying me to that bar was the only way? He shook his head, voice barely a whisper. No, I was an idiot. It's my fault. Saying those words out loud, he finally seemed to accept it. I didn't respond. The officer had him send, got it as instructed. A location came back. Tomorrow, 6 a.m., an old warehouse on the edge of the city. Don't bring a bag. Don't tell the school. In my last life, that exact location cost me my life. Cold sweat ran down my back reading it. This time, that location became evidence. At 10 the next morning, police caught the relative near the abandoned warehouse. I didn't go to the arrest. I sat in the police station waiting room, palms sweating. Images from my last death still flashed in my mind. The stairs, the shove, Ryan's scream, useless and too late. I gripped my mother's hand and told myself, over and over, I'm safe. The police are here this time. It's not me they should be afraid for. 2 hours later, the officers came back and said they had him. My mom exhaled, like she'd been holding her breath for weeks. Ryan crouched in the corner, face in his hands. He didn't cry loud, just shook. No one went to comfort him. Some things you have to break down alone. They found forged labor contracts in the car. Burner phones. Photocopies of minors' IDs. His father was arrested too. He tried to argue he was just giving his son early work experience until police showed him the transfer record. $20,000. Memo line, payment on delivery. When Ryan saw the screenshot, he couldn't stand up straight. In his last life, he never got to see it. This time, he saw exactly what he was worth to his own father. I stood next to him. I didn't comfort him. I only said one thing. See it clearly. And stop treating people like your lifeline. You have to save yourself. When someone helps you, that's kindness. Not an obligation. Ryan looked up at me, lips trembling. I'm sorry. I nodded. I heard you. I don't accept it. This whole thing caused a huge stir at school. My position was simple. Ryan can get help. He doesn't get glorified. The school's first draft of the notice said he acted improperly under family pressure. I brought the draft straight to the principal. This doesn't work. That's the truth, he said. It's half the truth. The full truth is, he chose to seek help by tying up and publicly humiliating a classmate because of family pressure. The first half explains why. The second half explains what he did. Leaving out either one is bias. The principal looked at me for a long moment, then picked up his pen and revised it. That was the moment I realized I'd truly changed, not by becoming cold, but by finally refusing to let my own wounds get erased by someone else's suffering. The video had already spread, but this time, the whole truth spread with it. Ryan's abuse at home was real. His father's plan to sell him into labor was real. And me, tied to a bar and put on display, was also real. Some people felt for Ryan. Others said he had it coming. I didn't join the arguments online. I just did two things. First, I handed the medical report and the video to the school. Second, I requested a school-wide assembly on bullying and resources for reporting abuse. Mr. Sullivan tried to suggest I keep a low profile. I opened the school district's complaint portal on my phone and showed him. He went quiet for 2 seconds. We'll arrange it. I almost laughed. People are like that. Ask politely, and they think you're weak. Show them the rules, and suddenly, you're not someone to mess with. A week later, at the morning assembly, Ryan stood at the podium and apologized publicly. He'd lost a lot of weight. His uniform hung off him. I shouldn't have tied Emma to that bar. No matter what I was going through, hurting someone else was never the answer. I'm willing to accept my punishment and go through counseling. He looked up at me in the front row. His eyes were red, like there was more he wanted to say. I looked back at him, calm. He didn't bring anything personal into the apology. That was something. After the assembly, he stopped me outside the building. He handed a tin box to Megan and asked her to give it to me. He said it's something we saved when we were kids. Inside were marbles, old photos, and a copy of our childhood codebook. In my last life, I kept these as proof our bond never broke. This life, they were just the leftover warmth of something already over. I didn't take it. Let him deal with it himself. Megan blinked. You really don't want it? No. It's the past. Keeping it won't bring the past back. That day after school, I saw Ryan standing by a trash can. He held the box for a long time and didn't throw it away. He hugged it to his chest, crouched down, and cried like a kid. I walked past without stopping. Pain is one thing. Going back is another. Emma, can I someday... No. I didn't let him finish. No. He froze. I showed him the faint scar still on my wrist. This will fade, but the feeling of being watched, filmed, humiliated, I won't forget that. Ryan, I saved you because I didn't want to see you sold to a labor camp. Not because I forgive you. Not because I want to be your friend again. The light in his eyes went out. I turned and walked away. I didn't look back. His father was later charged with child abuse, illegal trafficking of a minor, and conspiracy with a forced labor ring. The whole network tied to that relative was dismantled. Ryan moved in with his uncle temporarily. The school arranged financial aid and ongoing counseling for him. I didn't ask any more questions. Senior year hit hard right after that. A lot changed at the school. An anonymous reporting QR code went up outside every classroom. The counselor's office stopped being just for show. Someone actually staffed it now. Mr. Sullivan later apologized to me privately. He admitted he'd considered burying the whole thing at first. I didn't tell him it was fine. I just said, "Don't do that again." He nodded, a bitter smile on his face. I won't. People don't get better just from an apology. But systems and evidence force them to do the right thing next time. That's enough. I put everything into studying after that. In my last life, I died in the fall of junior year. I never got to take the SATs, never got to apply anywhere. This life, I'm taking back every piece of that life I lost. Megan and I got close after that. She once asked me, "Are you really not the least bit moved by him?" I looked out at the field. That old bar had been torn down. New equipment stood in its place, with an anti-bullying hotline posted next to it. I was too soft once, I said. It got me killed. She didn't get it, thought I was joking. I didn't explain. On the day of the SATs, I got a text from Ryan. "Emma, I finished the exam. I didn't drop out. Thank you." I stared at it for a while, then replied with one word, "Congratulations." Then I blocked him. Not every thank you needs a response. Not every regret deserves a fresh start. The day my acceptance letter came, my mom held me and cried for a long time. I got into a great university out of state. "Emma," she said, "we made it." I nodded. Yeah. This time, we both survived. Through 4 years of college, I never contacted Ryan again. He changed numbers a few times and still reached out. First year-long, drawn-out apologies. Second year updates on his therapy. Third year, he said he could finally talk about that bar without falling apart. I never responded. Some people say I'm too harsh. But not responding is a boundary too. I'm not his therapist. I'm not the one he owes a lifetime of penance to. If he wants to get better, that's good. But he doesn't get to make my forgiveness the finish line. Years later, I went back to my old high school to give a talk. By then, I was a lawyer, specializing in minors' rights and school bullying cases. I've handled cases since then. A kid locked in a bathroom by classmates, everyone calling it just a joke. A girl forced to apologize on a field while a teacher said she should reflect on why she didn't fit in. And more people like Ryan kids, dragged into the wreckage of their families, who tried to claw their way out by hurting someone else. Every time someone asks why I insist on such hard boundaries, I remember that early fall afternoon, the blood on my wrist, the stairs of that warehouse in my last life, getting darker and darker. Then I tell them, because when everything gets blurred together, someone always ends up sacrificed. Victims don't need someone's sad backstory. They need justice. I say that to other people. And I say it to my 17-year-old self. After the talk, I saw Ryan outside the old building. He looked more composed than I remembered. A plain white shirt, some papers in hand. I heard he got into a state college, and after graduating, came back to work as a youth counselor. He saw me and stood there a while before walking over. "Emma, it's been a long time." He looked at me, guilt still in his eyes. "I always wanted to say thank you, properly. And I'm sorry. You already said that." He smiled, tired. "You're still so direct." I just stopped wasting time. The wind moved across the field. He was quiet for a while, then said, "I still dream about that bar sometimes. You're tied there, telling me it hurts. Every time I wake up, I feel like I'm losing it." I watched the students in the distance, laughing, running, sunlight everywhere. "Pain isn't supposed to drive you crazy," I said. "It's supposed to stop you from becoming the person who hurts someone else." His eyes went red. "I know. That's enough." I turned and walked away. This time, he didn't follow. And I didn't look back either. On my way out, I passed the bulletin board by the field. A new poster hung there. "If you're facing bullying, abuse, or coercion, get help immediately." Below, contacts for the school, the police, and youth protective services. I stood there a long time, reading it. In my last life, I believed saving someone meant absorbing all their harm. It took dying to understand that real redemption isn't covering up someone else's wrongs. It isn't sacrificing yourself for someone else's hardship. It's breaking free the moment someone tries to drag you down with them, laying the evidence out in the open, letting the people who need help actually get it, letting the people who caused harm actually pay for it, and letting everyone who's ever hurt someone under the excuse of, "I had no choice," understand this. Suffering is not a free pass. Harm is harm. My name is Emma Carter. I was once tied to a pull-up bar by my childhood sweetheart and humiliated in public. In my last life, I died in an abandoned warehouse because I was too soft-hearted. This life, I put everyone exactly where they belonged. And from here on, I live for myself. I won $50 million in the lottery. I told my best friend again and again not to tell my family. She said, "Okay." Then she told my brother right away. My brother demanded I hand over the money for a house and a wedding. I refused. My family turned on me. Emotional blackmail. Even a live stream to get me cyberbullied. They locked me in a room and starved me until I died. Then they sealed me inside the walls of their new house. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the day of the drawing. My best friend asked me, smiling, "Olivia, did you win?" Madison walked toward me, holding the ticket in her hand. I narrowed my eyes. In my last life, we bought that ticket on a whim while out shopping. I never expected to win $50 million. We were about to graduate, and my family had cut off my allowance the day I started college. I was worried about rent. The money couldn't have come at a better time. After claiming it, I donated a chunk and had $35 million left. Madison was my best friend, so I gave her $2 million. Then I begged her, over and over, not to answer my brother's calls, not to talk to my family. She said, "Okay." But later, when my brother came asking for money, I told him I had none. Madison blurted it out. Olivia won 50 million and donated 5. She's still got plenty. My brother's eyes went bloodshot. He grabbed me by the throat, demanded 35 million for a house and a wedding. I told him the money was locked, in a fixed deposit, untouchable. He kept showing up, demanding I withdraw it anyway. I quit my job and hid in another city. So they started a live stream, calling me an ungrateful daughter who abandoned her family the second she got rich. Playing the victim earned them sympathy online. They doxed my address, sent funeral wreaths, photoshopped my face onto a memorial photo, mailed me a doll covered in fake blood. They found me, dragged me back, forced me to transfer everything to my brother. Then they locked me in the house and let me starve. In the end, my brother bought a house in the city and married Madison. They lived off my money without lifting a finger. And my parents tore down the family house, rebuilt it, and sealed my body inside the new walls. No one would ever find out. So, in my last life, Madison did it on purpose. This time, every single one of them is going to pay. Watching her walk toward me, I acted indifferent, kept packing my bag. The odds on that thing are basically 0. There's no way I won. She stopped and stared at me. Really? I finished packing, looked up, met her eyes. Yeah. What about your ticket? You never even took yours out. I forgot. Same as last time. Madison pulled me aside and checked both tickets, number by number. When she saw the win, she got more excited than I did. Then her smile faded fast. I really wish I'd picked your ticket instead. We just walked into that shop on impulse. Both random picks. She'd chosen first, an 8 in the number, said it might bring good luck. Then shoved the other one into my hand. In my last life, I laughed and said, if we win $5 and break even, that's a win. I never expected 50 million. I think that's the exact moment her smile disappeared. The moment she started scheming against me. How could 2 million satisfy her when in her mind, she was 1 ticket away from all of it? So when she asked where the ticket was, I pointed outside, threw it in the trash. Want to go dig it up? She didn't go. The next day, we packed up and went separate ways. In my last life, because I'd won, Madison suggested we live together. I rented a big place and paid a year up front for both of us. This time, when she asked, I said no. I found a hostel. $50 a night, pay as you go. Wanna come? Madison studied me. You've been acting weird since yesterday. You didn't actually win, did you? My chest tightened. Then I laughed. If I'd won, would I be staying somewhere this cheap? Since you brought it up, want to go buy another ticket? Might change our luck. She laughed it off, awkward, and looped her arm through mine. I didn't mean it like that. It's just you never showed me the numbers. Feels like something's missing. Isn't your family local anyway? Why would you need to rent? Because I want to live with you, I said flatly, sneering inside. She just wants to know if I actually won. I didn't call her out. Instead, I called my brother. Hey, my classmate might have a thing for you. Madison, the one I'm close with. Don't tell her I said anything. She's shy. Staying at the hostel was my cover. I went to claim the money in full disguise this time. Donated 10 million. 30 left in the account, spread across several banks. I never signed the job contract I'd lined up. Started applying to study abroad. But Madison came looking for me first. I heard you broke your job contract. Why? I was reading at the hostel. Decided to go to grad school instead. You're not thinking about going abroad after winning the lottery, are you? I put the book down. What kind of family do you think I come from that I could afford to go abroad? By the way, has my brother been bothering you? In my last life, Madison knew my family better than anyone. Parents who favored their son. A brother with no ambition, mooching off everyone, planning to leech off me too. And while pretending to feel sorry for me, she pushed me straight into the fire. I shook my head, patted her hand. My brother's turned it around. Big company job now. 6 figures. I heard he's got no shortage of admirers either. Madison looked doubtful. I handed her my phone. She scrolled through my brother's pagework photos. A car he was showing off. What kind of car is that? I don't recognize the emblem. That's a Porsche, she said. Worth over $1 million. I grabbed the phone back. That's insane. He only makes 6 figures. How's he affording that? She thought a second. Maybe he came into money out of nowhere. Then she looked at me, half smiling. I saw a banner at the lottery shop. Someone won $50 million. I wonder who that could be. I laughed it off, kept reading. She leaned in close. Chills ran down my spine. I asked the shop owner about the winner. My heart skipped. Does she already know? Olivia, what are you so nervous about? Maybe it was the memory I'd already given her $2 million, and she still had me killed. The thought of starving, that helpless despair, made me shake even after coming back. For a second, I wondered if she'd been reborn too. Why else would she care this much whether I'd won? I could just take the money and disappear. But then none of them would ever face consequences. That's not fair. I'm going to make every one of them pay for what they put me through. I stood up too, looked her dead in the eye. Madison, I actually lied. In my last life, I begged her not to tell my family, and she told my brother anyway, which got me killed. This time, I'm not just going to tell her. I'm going to redirect the whole thing. You mean your brother took the money? She asked. I nodded. Her expression kept shifting. He told me not to tell anyone, not even our parents. But you're my best friend. I couldn't lie to you. Isn't your brother broke, though? How does he have a bank card? She looked genuinely confused. But underneath, I could see the greed. So there's another secret. The money's on my card. What? She practically shouted. The hostel lobby was packed, everyone staring. I pulled her out to the balcony. Her eyes lit up. Olivia, we're best friends, right? She probably didn't realize how hard she was squeezing my hand. It hurt. Just as she was at her happiest, I delivered the blow. But my card is with my brother. You know how he is, reckless. He'll blow through it in no time. I sighed on cue. Madison asked, "Can I see his page again?" I handed her the phone. She scanned it fast, saved his contact info, and left. I already knew what came next. She was going to go after my brother. Exactly what I wanted. I made a call too. Mom, my friend gave me more money. I'm sending it to you, give it to my brother right away. We can't let the only son in the family suffer. Madison didn't come by for a few days, but her social media told the story. She and my brother, Ryan, were getting close fast. That evening, Ryan showed up at my hostel. I quietly hit record on my phone. Before I could even get near him, he tried to slap me. I dodged. Brother? What are you doing? I'm out of money, he snapped. If you want a rich girlfriend, you need to spend on her. Where's the money coming from? I asked innocently. Online loans, obviously. He said it like it was nothing. I told him about a few sites that approve instantly with just an ID. His credit was bad, though. Couldn't borrow much. If you want to keep up appearances with Madison, you're going to need more. I don't have any either, I said, voice small. Then go sell yourself. College girls go for more. You still a virgin? My blood boiled. I wanted to slap him, but I held back. Bro, how could you say that? He grabbed for me, but with people around, he didn't push it. I pulled free. Fine, I'll give you the $5,000 Madison just sent me. She gave you money? His eyes narrowed. I transferred it to him on the spot. She's a good friend. Helped me out a lot in school. As he turned to leave, I handed him a card. Here, a contact. Borrow $100,000. Only $100 a day in interest. His eyes lit up. He snorted and walked off. Madison asked me to go shopping. Class reunion was coming up. She was glowing. Your skin's been looking great lately, I said. Maybe love just does that. You're seeing someone? Since when? I'll announce it at the reunion, she said, smiling like she had a secret. Come help me pick something out. Watching her walk off, I smirked. Your real drama's just getting started. In my last life, right after I won, she dragged me straight to a luxury store. Said I'd worked hard, deserved to treat myself. I bought a $10,000 pair of shoes, a $30,000 dress, a $50,000 bag. That spending spree came back to haunt me. When Ryan came looking for money and started digging through my bag, Madison blurted, "Don't ruin Olivia's $50,000 bag." He took the bag and sold it on the spot. That's how Madison found out I could afford it. She'd been setting traps the whole time. This time, I took her to a luxury store myself and pushed her to try things on. Clothes really do make the person, I said, complimenting everything. The price tag on one piece hit $80,000. Even Madison winced. I acted disappointed. If only I had money, I'd buy this for you without blinking twice. Forget it. Let's go check the discount district instead. At the word discount, Madison's face fell. Before I could finish talking to the sales clerk, she cut in. I'll take this one. She patted my hand, but I knew exactly what was driving her. Vanity. You can't catch a wolf without losing a little bait. I texted my parents a photo of the receipt, an $80,000 dress just like that. What kind of family is this? At the reunion, Madison stole the spotlight the second she walked in. I dressed plain on purpose, so she'd shine even brighter by comparison. In my last life, I never understood why she wanted to hurt me. Later, I realized she never saw me as a friend. She saw me as a mirror to make herself look better. Deep down, she was vain and hungry for attention, and she went after it the wrong way. Sure enough, the whispers started. Isn't that dress $80,000? Their family's just average. How can she afford that? Maybe she landed a rich boyfriend? Right on cue, my brother walked in. I acted surprised. Ryan? What are you doing here? Madison beat me to it, grabbed his hand, introduced him to everyone. This is my boyfriend. Hope nobody minds I brought a +1. No one objected. I glanced at Ryan. He'd clearly borrowed against a loan shark for that outfit, cleaned himself up, styled his hair. He looked the part. Someone said, "You two were already close. Now you're even closer." Madison had Ryan cover the bill. After it ended, he drove a rented Porsche and offered rides home. People fawned over them the whole way. I sat in the back seat, watching Madison smile in the mirror, and smiled too. The higher you fly, the harder you fall. I checked into a 5-star hotel but kept paying for the hostel room too. Told anyone who asked I was pulling all-nighters studying for grad school entrance exams. When Ryan called, he was furious. He'd already fought with the security guard, couldn't find me. Get out here now. Bro, what do you want? Madison said you won $50 million and handed it all to me. My chest tightened. She finally asked. I'd expected this. Her interest in Ryan was never pure, she wouldn't ask directly. But watching him spend all this money, the illusion built on debt, her suspicion had taken root. Once things got serious with him, she'd start digging. I changed the subject. I was just messing with her. She was acting up. I needed to calm her down. Her family's well off too. She broke up with me, Ryan snapped. But I'm not someone to mess with either. I never used protection. I said nothing. Madison texted me. I didn't answer. Ryan dragged me to her office to confront her. She refused to come down, so her manager told her to deal with it herself. In my last life, this happened the same way. Ryan tracked down my workplace and made a scene Madison had told him where I worked. When he hit me, threatened me for money, Madison stood there acting like she was comforting me. But every word was a knife. Olivia won $50 million and donated $5. She's still got plenty. That's what set him off, while she stood there with an innocent face, saying, Olivia, I've always supported you. This time, when she saw me, Madison finally showed her real face. Olivia, Why did you lie to me? I blinked, faking innocence. Madison, it was for your own good. You'd have complained forever otherwise. A white lie. Are you only interested in my brother for the money? Her face went pale, then red. Ryan reached for her. She sneered and dodged. Rich? It's all borrowed. You broke loser. Stay away from me. You disgust me. Furious? He slapped her. I used to take a lot of hits at home. He'd taken his anger out on me plenty. If he hadn't been counting on selling me off for a wife's dowry, he probably would have killed me. Now, it was Madison getting hit. Tears in her eyes. She tried to leave. I grabbed her. No way I'm letting her walk off. Stay and feel what I felt being surrounded, watched, humiliated in my last life. I grabbed her with one hand, shoved my brother with the other. How could you hit her? I'm calling the police. Ryan was tall, strong, could have lifted me with one arm. His eyes went hostile. I shielded Madison. Stay back. This dress cost $80,000. Don't ruin it. Hearing the price, Ryan's eyes went red with rage. He grabbed Madison, started choking her. So, you used my money to buy stuff this expensive, and you still look down on me for being broke? Her face turned red from the grip. I pretended to panic, rushed forward. Let her go. How can you say that about her? If she wanted your money, she wouldn't be with you. Hearing that, Madison went pale with shame, too afraid to explain herself with the crowd gathering, phones out, filming. She couldn't admit her intentions weren't pure, so she swallowed it. Even begged me, Olivia, save me. Save you? Of course I'll save you. Otherwise, how do we keep playing this out? I stepped out of the crowd and called the police. There's a fight going on here. Then I texted my parents, casually. Ryan's at the police station. While they made their way into the city, I had cameras installed at my parents' house. Then I called a reporter. I have a story for you. Public interest piece, kind of a hot topic right now. I gave them the location. Ryan and Madison went inside and didn't come out for hours. It was almost dark when my parents finally showed up, arms full of bags. The second they saw me, my mom tried to slap me. You little brat, didn't I raise you for anything? You couldn't even protect your brother? I dodged, whimpering. My dad snapped. Enough crying. What happened with them? I stammered through a story. My mom frowned. So, you're saying the girl who's been giving you spending money can afford an $80,000 dress? Yeah. She said she liked him. They were dating. Then out of nowhere, they broke up and she called him a broke loser. When he went to see her, she called the cops. My dad's face darkened as he lit a cigarette. I grabbed my mom's hand. Their family's rich. It's normal they'd look down on us. We're small town. She's a city girl. A sly look crossed my mom's face. Well, if they've already been intimate, she's basically family now. City people have their pride, but us, we've got nothing to lose. She pulled my dad aside to whisper. I already knew they were cooking something up. Just like in my last life, they'd schemed against me the exact same way. It hit me then maybe Madison had been stirring things up behind the scenes back then too. Whatever, we're all playing the same game now. Let's see who wins. Ryan and Madison finally came out. Both looked rough, especially Madison. Her careful makeup, her elegant outfit, a total wreck. Tear-streaked, exhausted. They must have argued hard during questioning. My mom rushed straight to Ryan, hugging him. Oh, honey, are you okay? I've been sick with worry. Right then, Madison's parents arrived. She ran into their arms, sobbing. I hung back, watching the show. My mom, determined to land a wife for her son, wasn't about to let this one go. I started recording and never expected what came next. My mom dropped to her knees in front of Madison's parents. In-laws. Whatever happened, it's my son's fault. I was stunned. A performance of pure desperation. And it worked. Onlookers gathered. Even a reporter arrived, camera hidden at the back of the crowd. My dad knelt too, setting all the shopping bags down in front of them, dressed plainly. Kneeling like that, it genuinely looked pathetic. But Madison yanked her foot back. "Get away from me, you country hicks. Don't touch me." Probably still shaken from Ryan's outburst, her nerves were fraying. My mom didn't budge, reached for her hand again. "Madison, I know you two had a fight, but small arguments should be forgiven. I'm here to formally ask for your hand for my son. Haven't you two already been intimate? Old-fashioned as it sounds, that makes you family to us now? Tell us what you need. We'll do our best." Madison's parents, seeing my folks weren't aggressive, started to speak, but Madison cut them off. She sneered. "It's the 21st century. Sleeping with someone doesn't mean marrying them. Get out of here." My mom started crying, and while no one was watching closely, she grabbed Madison's hand. "But Madison, Ryan really does love you. You're the only girlfriend he's ever had. How can you talk like that?" Madison snapped. "I'd rather sleep with a pig than with your son." Then shoved my mom to the ground. My parents don't let go once they latch onto something. She rolled around, wailing. "Our family's not rich, but we still raised a college graduate. How can you talk to us like that?" "Right then," Madison gagged a few times. My mom's eyes lit up, all her pain instantly gone. She scrambled up and touched Madison's stomach. "Are you pregnant? In-laws, if she's pregnant, let's talk about the wedding." Madison shoved her hand off, ice in her eyes. "Your son's a broke loser. So what if I'm pregnant? I've got plenty of guys lined up." She walked off with her parents. The crowd scattered, and I sent the reporter the reunion footage too, the one I'd filmed under the guise of a vlog. Madison probably thinks she's safe now, back home. But she has no idea what my strange little family is capable of. I sent her a fake sympathy text. She never replied. Doesn't matter. She's about to have her hands full. Madison went viral within days. The scene at the police station made headlines. Rural parents beg city girl not to leave their son. Country hicks. Go back where you came from. I'd rather sleep with a pig. Your son's a broke loser. I've got plenty lined up. Maybe the footage got edited a bit. Either way, her words lit up the internet. It hit every nerve, urban versus rural. Promiscuity, gold digging. I really owe her for that loose tongue. Saved me the cost of buying trending topics myself. Riding the wave, my parents and Ryan started live streaming to play the victim. In my last life, they'd done the same thing to me, claiming I'd cut them off after winning the lottery, that they raised me, put me through school, worked hard despite having little, that my dad was critically ill, and just wanted to see me one last time. This time, Madison posted the transfer records I'd given her, with a statement, "I've already returned $2 million to Olivia. If her father needs it for treatment, I'll give it back." Her image flipped overnight, the noble, self-sacrificing best friend, compared to my supposed cruelty. It enraged people online. Combined with hired trolls buying trending spots, uninformed users started calling me heartless, a monster, a disgrace to college students. They doxed my address. Wreaths showed up at my door. Red paint sprayed across it. A blood-stained doll in the mail. My landlord kicked me out. Right then, my family found me and dragged me away. No one listened. No one knew what my life had actually been like. They only believed what they saw. Ryan posted photos of him and Madison, together with receipts, saying he truly loved her. My parents cried on camera, saying the whole family had prepared a dowry and a room for her, that she was pregnant. They just wanted to work things out. They said even without a job, Ryan had hands and feet, could sell blood if he had to support her. Seriously? What job does Ryan even have? This family's practically penniless. What kind of dowry could they possibly offer? Didn't matter. The comments kept coming. Pregnant before marriage, disgusting. This is a gold digger who latched onto a rich guy and dumped him the second he lost money. What did the rural family even do to deserve this? Madison is a scammer. Her parents look pitiful. working this hard at their age just to cover for her. Could there be something else going on here? Right then, the reporter's edited vlog dropped. It confirmed everything, especially once people from the reunion shared photos verifying it. Confirmed they were dating. She even came to our reunion in an $80,000 dress. Ryan must have bought it. Yeah, and he covered the bill in a rented Porsche. Can't believe Madison's like this, dates a guy when he's rich, dumps him the second he's broke. The comments piled on. Madison, pay him back. Return every cent. Don't marry into that family. Just repay the money and stop scamming honest people. In my last life, everyone who guilt-tripped me now, they were doing it to her instead. The backlash hit Madison hard. I heard she stopped leaving her apartment. Everything I'd endured, the wreaths, the paint was now landing on her without me lifting a finger. My parents rushed over with Ryan since the drama was affecting their neighbors. They kept pressuring the building management to force Madison's family out. Right as they arrived, they ran into Madison, fully wrapped up in a coat. "My dear daughter-in-law, you're pregnant. Don't run around. It's my fault for not giving Ryan a better shot at providing for you." My mom reached for her. Madison flinched, tried to run. Ryan cut her off. "We're having a baby. Don't run around." My dad chimed in. "Things are rough for you right now. Come stay with us and lay low. We'll figure out the money together." I could hardly hold back a laugh. Just don't drain me dry and we're square. But I have to admit, this family really knows how to put on a show. In my last life, when they finally found me, it went exactly like this. My mom said, "Olivia, you're my daughter. How could I bear letting you go through this alone?" My dad said, "It breaks my heart to think of you suffering out there." My brother said, "Sis, I'm getting married soon. You have to come back and stand up for me." I didn't know at the time the person he was marrying was Madison. And Madison said, "Olivia, everyone's doing this for your own good. A united family thrives. Let's go home. I'll come with you." Then the same fake righteous crowd wiped their eyes and pushed me into a car. My life ended not long after that. All those hollow words now aimed at Madison. Madison's parents stepped up. She probably expected them to push back, but instead, they backed away. "Things are rough for us right now. We can barely go to work. Maybe you should lay low for a while. We'll come get you when it settles down." They'd clearly been hit hard by the online backlash, too. Before Madison could even speak, the neighbors piled on. "If you don't go now, the baby's coming soon. Their son really loves you. Just go. With this big a scandal and pregnant out of wedlock, who else would want you? We've all got hands and feet. No money now doesn't mean no money later." Under the crowd's stare, Ryan pushed her into the car. I waved. "Madison, safe delivery. Be happy." Fear and helplessness in her eyes. "Don't worry. There's more coming that you won't be able to handle." On the home security feed, I watched Madison get dragged into the rundown house. They took her phone. Nothing left. The beautiful clothes that used to shine on her had lost all their luster. I smiled. That $80,000 dress, I never wanted to part with it either. The next second, Ryan tore it off her. She tried to grab it back. He slapped her to the ground. She fought back. My vicious mother pinned her down. That old familiar feeling came back when I fought them too, and got treated the same way. Later, I learned to be smarter. Just enough to survive. I wonder how fast Madison will break. While they were busy and hadn't come looking for me yet, I switched my number and started traveling before finalizing my plans to go abroad. But I kept paying for the hostel room. She still had her uses. Can't afford loose ends. I also made a fresh social media account, posting videos of myself studying for grad school and working part-time. A struggling but hardworking student, for show. Because I kept thinking about how Madison screwed me over last time she'd made her own account, posting photos of me buying bags and clothes, living it up, and showing off the $2 million I gave her, framing herself as friends with a rich girl. That's exactly why nobody helped me. In the end, they'd traced it all back and found nothing but a spoiled brat. Thinking about it, I sighed. Meeting someone like Madison, I was way too careless last time. Grateful for the second chance. Every step of this, I get to plan. Sure enough, I don't know what Madison said to them, but Ryan came back to the hospital looking for me again. People consistently backed me up, said I'd been at the library or at work, and pulled up my social media to prove it. Their guilt trip act meant nothing to me anymore. I later heard all this from the hostel owner. Ryan gave up and left without finding me. I sat in a 5-star suite, watching the surveillance feed. People kept coming and going from that house. I watched Ryan counting money. I watched Madison get beaten while resisting until she was on the ground, bleeding. She really was pregnant. She lost the baby from the beating. And I felt nothing, not a single ripple. In my last life, the 3 of them teamed up against me. Not one person mourned when I died. I'm no saint. Why would I feel sorry for her now? I just checked the timing. Those loan sharks should be showing up any day now. The moment Ryan came looking for me, I knew they'd gone after him too. Madison must have told him I might have won the $50 million. That's why he tracked me down. After failing to reach me, he started trying to sell Madison off, same thing he tried to do to me. All of it, though, a drop in the bucket. No match for compound interest. Let's see how long they can hold out. I visited everywhere I wanted to go. It felt incredible not to worry about money. Turns out it's true. Money makes everything easier. I forgot to check the cameras for a while. When I opened the feed again, I saw something awful. Madison, dragging Ryan, covered in blood, and throwing him into the well in the backyard. Then she collapsed, gasping, covered in blood herself, laughing a horrible, unhinged laugh, still holding the knife. I thought she'd wait for my parents to get home and kill them too. Instead, she packed her things, took his phone, and ran. Not long after she left, my parents got home. Seeing the scene, they screamed in horror, ran to the well to pull the body out. The old feeding off the young. Fitting. When I died, they didn't feel an ounce of guilt. Halfway through pulling him out, loan sharks showed up demanding payment. A fight broke out, and in the chaos, my parents were killed too. Ryan's body, which they'd just pulled out, got thrown back in along with the others. I closed the feed and saved the footage. Guess I need to head back. Madison's parents found me first, asking if I'd seen her. I said I hadn't. They mentioned they used to video call her daily, but hadn't been able to reach her lately, and they were worried. Every day? I asked. Yes. She said she was fine and would be back soon. I almost laughed. They'd scared her enough that she wouldn't even ask her own parents for help. But that had nothing to do with me. In my last life, her parents never wronged me. I wasn't planning to hurt them. So I comforted her mom. Maybe she's just at a checkup. They'd barely left when Madison showed up. I don't know how she escaped. She arrived at the hostel entrance, disheveled, looking like she'd aged 10 years. Security stopped her from coming in. She'd been waiting outside for me the whole time. I was actually there to check out heading abroad soon. Otherwise, we might not have crossed paths at all. Her eyes looked like she wanted to kill me. People coming and going kept glancing at us. Her clothes were a mess. I waved a hand in front of my nose, stepping back. Madison, you did this on purpose, didn't you? I acted confused. What do you mean? She broke completely, screaming. You deliberately said the money was with your brother. You set me up to get close to him and planned everything after. Madison, I never gave you my brother's contact info. You went through my phone and added him yourself, didn't you? And you're the one who bought those clothes? You wanted to announce your relationship at the reunion? Have some accountability. I looked pained. Madison, and to think I defended you when they came looking for you? It was you who called the police, not me. If you hadn't, I wouldn't have been dragged in. She screamed louder. I acted even more confused. It's strange, though. That day downstairs at your office, I asked you if you were only with my brother for the money, and you denied it. I thought you'd found something real. By the way, wasn't it you who asked me to save you? Ryan's strong. If I hadn't called the police, he'd have beaten you badly. Her face shifted, filled with terror. She must have remembered how Ryan had hurt her. She touched her own hands and face on reflex. Yes, I saw it. Her hands were covered in scars and bruises. Probably more we couldn't see. None on her face, though kept clean for the video calls with her parents. I didn't feel sorry for her. In my last life, she was the one who suggested locking me up first. She was the one who said she was heading to the city to marry Ryan, then forgot I was locked in the house, which is how I starved. It was her, right before I died, who pinched her nose and smiled sweetly and said, "Mom, Dad, husband, why don't we seal Olivia in the wall? No one will ever find her, right here at home." But Madison kept blaming me. "Olivia, why did you push me into the fire? I just graduated. I had my whole future ahead of me. We were supposed to be best friends." Best friends? I smiled. "Madison, don't insult the word. You only got close to me because you knew my family was poor, and I was insecure. I used to think you were the light in my life. Turns out you were never the light. You just needed someone to shine on you, and that someone was me." I'd clearly seen through her whole plan. Her face twisted through a dozen expressions, but I had no interest in watching anymore. Just as I turned to leave, she snapped, "It's you. You won the 50 million. People stopped to look. I turned to someone I recognized from the hostel. She's saying I won 50 million. Ridiculous, right? They nodded. How would that even be possible? You study at the library every day, live cheap, work part-time? If I'd won the lottery, I'd be eating out every night." Madison went pale. I looked at her, almost amused. "Why are you so fixated on whether I won or not?" "Because it's mine." What shameless logic. I was the one who suggested buying the ticket. She was the one who picked hers first. She never blamed her own bad luck for not choosing the winning one. She blamed me for stealing her prize. No reasoning with someone like that. Then again, since she doesn't have much time left, I don't mind pushing a little further. I glanced at the people behind her, said quietly, "Madison, that 50 million really was mine. Didn't expect that, did you? You got nothing, and you killed someone for it." Her eyes went wide with fury, nearly hysterical. "Olivia, I'm going to kill you." Right as she lunged, a group of officers appeared behind her. "Madison? You're under arrest for suspected homicide and premeditated assault. Come with us." The knife hung in the air. It was over. With witnesses and evidence, there was no way out, especially once they said homicide. Her face went completely blank with panic. She still didn't know I'd installed those cameras. I'd seen everything before I even knew she'd escaped. The moment she ran, the first thing she did was come after me. I'd already submitted the footage to the police by then. Having been reborn once, was I really going to be foolish enough to fall for it again? And in my last life, I lost because I never understood how ugly people could be. This time, I used their own methods against them. Madison was arrested for homicide. I visited her once at the jail. She refused to see me. I heard she's having a hard time in there. Dying quickly would have been too easy for her. She needs to fully understand what it feels like to wish for death. Walking out, the sun was bright. A text came in from my immigration agent. "Miss Bennett, your study abroad paperwork is finalized." I checked my account. 29,850,000 left. Sold the worthless family house for 150,000 before leaving the country, which just about rounded out the 30 million I'd started with. No more toxic family. No more fake friends holding me back. This life, I took control, built my wealth, and made every one of them pay. And ahead of me, a much brighter future.